Today, many facts about the end of World War II still go unanswered. It is known that members of the Axis powers fled Europe at the end of the war. Using fake identities and documents, key members of the Nazi Party were able to escape, but it is difficult to know exactly who left and where they went. What was Brazil's role in the Second World War? Was the country an aid to allies or a refuge for fleeing war criminals? What was Dr. Joseph Mengele doing in Brazil until he was found dead on the southeastern coast? What was the mission of the self-proclaimed Nazi hunter, Erich Erdstein, in southern Brazil? Who really were the self-proclaimed countesses whom since the 1970s were suspected to be Eva Braun and her supposed child with Hitler? The organization of former SS members, Odessa, has been featured in literature and film since the end of the war. This group included many famous Nazis like Adolf Eichmann, lieutenant colonel of the SS, who was responsible for extermination logistics of millions of people during the Holocaust. Escaped to Argentina. Karl Verne, an SS doctor, studied male hormones and claimed to have found a cure for homosexuality. Escaped to Argentina. Martin Bormann, Hitler's personal secretary and head of the party chancellery. It was claimed he died in Berlin, but later he was said to be seen in South American countries like Paraguay and Argentina. Now it has been found that other important Nazi affiliates have been found living in South America, more specifically in Brazil, under false identities. Suspecting that members of Odessa might be living in Marechal Cândido Rondon, a small city in the Brazilian state Paraná, Erich Erdstein urged the state police and governor to investigate. To quote his letter to local police, "Its occupants, settlers, and merchants of Marechal Cândido Rondon were appalled by the existence of certain groups of Germans who forbid their children to learn and speak the Portuguese language, assimilate our culture, and learn our national anthem, which after all requires a severe segregation of striving to keep the traditions, philosophy, and culture of the homeland intact. They keep journals and correspondence with cultural and charitable German organizations, asking for financial assistance for the German culture continuity." In 1991, Oast magazine published an article about Nazis and presented two women of German origin, a mother and daughter, who were self-titled countesses with links to the Second World War. In 1972, this mother-daughter duo became permanent residents of Foz do Iguaçu, where the two gained attention from the community and media, eventually appearing on the Silvio Santos show. Many people began to think the two were Eva Braun and her possible daughter with Hitler, although the accusations were never proved. A mysterious American, Gerald Payne, was sure the two had an association with Nazi Germany, and repeatedly tried to prove his discovery. Convinced that the two women were Eva Braun and her daughter, Gerald Payne was in constant correspondence with foreign colleagues attempting to gain information about the two women. He was aided in his search by the city sheriff and consulates of other countries. The authors of the KBK collection, Franco and Pereira, give accounts of meetings with Nora Daisy, where they unravel secrecies never before revealed about the ending of World War II. Pereira, a doctor at Health Center of Ouro Verde, met Nora Daisy in 2005 and was surprised by her sickly condition. Nora Daisy revealed a bit about herself and her mother's background, of how she was Hitler's mistress but at times aided the Allies. Stories like an 18-year cultural trip on horseback, the sale of an Iron Cross, and deep knowledge of Third Reich characters prompted the authors to continue with the story. Hence, they began to research more about the past of the women, based on the most promising hypothesis that the women might be Eva Braun and her child conceived with Hitler. However, the results did not confirm their hypothesis, but led to a woman even more important, Magda Goebbels. Besides the many physical similarities between Magda Goebbels and the mother of Nora Daisy, Franco and Pereira's research identifies the other cultural and behavioral resemblances, such as the mother's preference for pearls, classical music, and the prophet Nostradamus. Goebbels and Daisy's mother had even more in common. The two women were fluent in various languages and were even the same age. So, who is Nora Daisy? As an anxious woman, Nora Daisy had the habit of rubbing her hands together and resting them under her chin. The same behavior is repeated in Nazi films by Holdine Goebbels, the daughter of Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's Minister of Propaganda. In other home videos released by Joseph Goebbels, his children are shown playing in a field of sunflowers. A series of drawings found in Nora Daisy's documents also reveals a personal interest in the sunflower. After locating the original birth certificate of Nora Daisy, the authors were startled to find that she was the exact same age as Holdine Goebbels. What are Nora Daisy and her mother doing in Brazil? How did they get there? And where are they now? Know more about the lives of Holdine and Magda Goebbels and their possible presence in South America after the Second World War. The KBK Collection.